Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for taking some time for clicking on the link. And in the next 10, 12 minutes, we're going to share a little bit of information about the Baton Rouge program. My name is Gavin Gilchrist. I'm part of our Stantec's North America PMCM group, and I have the pleasure of working on this program as part of this program team. East Baton Rouge, as you can imagine, deals a lot with hurricanes, this causes a lot of major traffic issues in terms of congestion. But on top of that, it's just a general issue that cities and localities across North America are facing. As in the US, some federal funding has become less available to local cities and counties and parishes. They've had to take on more responsibility for driving the delivery of these critical assets for the local businesses and the community. In response to that, East Baton Rouge Parish went to the voters in 2019 with a 30-year half-cent sales tax, which was passed as people saw the need and were happy to lean into this with the lack of support from some of the federal funding. This is going to generate at least a $1.1 billion investment in local infrastructure around capacity and enhancement projects across the whole parish. As part of the vote, they identified 70 plus projects, 40 new capacity improvement, meaning the widening of roads or the extension of roads, and 30 plus community enhancement projects, and also areas of funding, namely sidewalks, traffic signals, life safety projects, as well as some complete streets and resiliency-based investments. Some of the early action projects were focused around the implementation of a number of upgrades to the traffic signal system. 117 traffic signals were added with emergency backup power supply, an important issue when you live in Hurricane Alley, when you rely on power that is often cut out during a storm. 88 traffic monitoring cameras, and over 176 miles of new fiber optic cable to connect that north of 400 traffic signals into the internet. The proof of this traffic signal program is really in the pudding. As part of the Stantec team, we were able to track traffic volume from 2019 to 2023, and we saw a 16.5% increase in traffic volume. But with the implementation of this traffic signal improvement program, we got to see a 7.5% decrease in travel time, a key benefit to everybody involved, not only in time, but in money, right? That's less gas burnt, that's less wear and tear on your vehicle, that's quicker delivery of goods, just a more efficient way to live and do business. To get there, that required to use that fiber optic to connect all 470 of those signals into a central command center that allowed you to develop sort of, I'll say, algorithms to support a more efficient use of the existing infrastructure, get more traffic through those intersections in a faster, better way, especially during rush hour. There was a 100% implementation of emergency vehicle priority across all of the parish, and the implementation of over 400 new school flashes, meaning, those slow down and, school zones, school crossings are ahead, really awareness to support life safety issues across all of the community school assets across the parish. How did the parish get there? Well, Stantec was hired in 2019, once the vote had passed, to help establish a program management office to manage these programs. And this was really done through three key steps: the standing up of a program management office, the people and the resources to manage that delivery, the validation and really the establishment of a delivery strategy for those 70 plus projects, how to package and how to procure, and then the putting in place the governance and the processes and tools that we want to use to manage this $1 billion investment across 30 years, documented through a program management plan, and allowing us to move into the delivery of all of these projects in an expedited manner. The first step, as part of the delivery strategy, was to really prioritize those projects. There's not enough funding to be able to start all 70 on day one. So with key members of the public and members of the parish and the program management teams, a prioritization task was done looking at 5 key criteria across readiness and complexity, safety improvement, ability of the projects to contribute to complete streets and resiliency, ability of the projects to reduce congestion, and the ability of the projects to improve quality of life. This allowed us to have a three-wave approach to the delivery of projects. The first wave of projects, fully funded, we're going to get going on those on year one. Second wave would start as soon as funding was available. And then the third wave were kept in reserve until future funding was made available. And we'll talk more about that later on. So how were we organized? This was led under the mayor's office, under the director of transportation, where two program management teams were procured to support the capacity program and the enhancement program. Stantec was procured to be the enhancement program manager, as well as providing some of the centralized services that we're looking to deliver in coordination with the chief engineer, the legal office, and the procurement team and finance from the parish, as well as Stantec's central program controls, small business development, and outreach and communications. So even though there were two program management teams, there was a consistent approach to the tracking and reporting on the projects, the outreach to and communication about the projects in the program, and the approach to small and emerging business development across the entire program. Third leg of that stool was that governance and processes. There's a lot on this slide. I'd like you to just kind of focus on the top part of the slide. We established a consistent life cycle that every project would go through, from planning, pre-construction, and construction. And there was established three major committees to manage and govern that delivery. The procurement committee there in orange that had two roles: one, to establish any new procurement vehicles that were needed for the delivery of the project, think on specific on-call contracts or unique contracting templates, but also to approve the procurement of the design teams and the construction teams for the delivery of each of the individual projects. The technical committee was chaired by the chief engineer and supported by the program team, and they ensured that during the 30, 60, 90 development of the design, that the appropriate reviews and that the design standards were being maintained and updated to meet the needs of the overall program. Then during construction, the construction change board, led by the city's construction management lead, but again staffed by the program management team, ensuring that the value that was delivered during construction was met. You know, honestly, this is where the rubber meets the road, and this is where the impact to the community is felt the most. A critical part of the overall approach to strategy, approach to delivery. I want to touch a little bit on fund management and how important this was. This is a brand new funding stream that has been applied to the city, to the parish, with looking at generating that 1.1 billion. But you know, the sales tax was only really forecast to deliver 700 to 800 million. So it was very important that the team looked at maximizing the available funds, using this sales tax funding to allow us to go after other federal grant and other funds that often require match funding. And the team's been quite successful, achieving $300 million to date. But once you achieve those different funding sources, you need to ensure that the contracts you have in place aligns with the unique needs of those funding. Some funds require you to procure work a certain way, track the funds spent in a certain way, and the program controls team was ensuring that that was happening. We needed to track all of that funding across all of the projects so we could see the individual funding mix and track the different funding pot drawdown. Ultimately, forecasting that drawdown across the entire program so that you could see the cash flow and the encumbrances and drawdown that would be required across the entire 30 years of the sales tax. The team established a financial forecasting model in partnership with the finance department to look at a number of different scenarios about how this program was going to be funded. You really have two strategies here. One is to go pay as you go. You collect the sales tax money, you bring that into the bank account, and as the money grows over time, once you have enough in the bank, then you're able to start procuring projects and get into delivery. The parish decided to really kickstart delivery by going down a majority bonding route, using that sales tax revenue to pay back a number of general obligation bonds that they sold. The first bond was sold in the first year of 100 million, and that really primed the pump of delivery for the program and allowed the program teams to really get into delivery of that first wave in an expedited manner. What you see here is 4 peaks, and that's a potential funding model across the entire program, across for the delivery of all of the projects against 4 different bond sales. Obviously, this gets updated and this gets reviewed with leadership on a quarterly basis to take on board the schedule of the projects, the needs of the projects, and the needs of the overall parish as the program matures. Importantly, it was very important to be transparent and communicate with all of the key stakeholders, the businesses, the citizens, and everyone impacted by the program. And it's a large program, and I encourage you to go to movebr.gov if you're interested in learning more. This is just a quick snapshot, but there's a lot of information about the current status of the projects, the governance processes I mentioned, as well as quarterly reports, newsletters from the mayor, number of progress reports, and some KPIs tracking the delivery of these key assets. In addition, there's a whole section here dedicated to upcoming pre-construction advertisements and construction advertisements, as well as engagement with that small business community that I mentioned before. And talking about that small and emerging business development community, this was not a program that the parish had before, but it was important to the parish that this was established as part of the MOVEBR program. And Stantec, as part of the program controls and our overall program management leadership team, supported the parish in establishing a program. Having the ability to track participation within pre-construction and professional services and construction contracts. And from demonstrating 0 participation, the program, here we are 6 years in, is now showing 27% participation by small and emerging businesses across the entire program. Here we are in year 6. I think that's a great testament to the implementation of this program, but also a demonstration of how the program is supporting local business and support not just the construction of the assets, but supporting the community and the local businesses in the parish. So that's a little bit about the MOVEBR program, but Stantec, our PMCM group, we are across all of the sectors within Stantec, all of the sectors within the infrastructure, power, water, environmental services, buildings. We've been doing this for 40+ years here in North America and around the globe. A stat that keeps getting updated: we've got over 100 capital programs being managed with $195 billion worth of value being delivered. I enjoy being part of our team, and if you're interested in learning more about us, I think there's a great spot on our website, stantec.com/PMCM. You can learn more about our team, more about our projects, and please reach out and engage if you want to be part of our team or if you're looking for some help. We'd be happy to talk with you more, because honestly, we enjoy doing this work. Thank you for listening and paying attention and clicking on the link.